Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, RUNICK SPRIGHT. This is Joshua's build from past weekend. So the, Sprite RUNICK build that he, took all the way first place at YCS Utrecht past weekend. So let's take a look. Challenger appears for the Cross-Banlist Cup. So again, a couple of decks are picked to see how, this deck stacks up against the other decks. Only one duel, no side deck. It is what it is, like always. This should be the 5th episode, I think. There are more decks coming. Dark World is definitely planned as well, as soon as we're getting that in a TCG. Anyway, so RUNICK SPRIGHT starts off, and as you know, the gimmick behind the deck is that, well, Joshua opted not to run any hand traps, so no imperm. Well, it's pretty much, imperm being the best hand trap, and then I guess you could... change it up a little bit, I guess, with something like Veil or Nip. But, Josh even wasn't running Imperm at all. I've seen, other RUNICK SPRIGHT builds running like evenly matched with Imperm as well, but, Lava Golems also in the main deck or Ra Sphere mode. Because again, like going first with this deck, 99.9% of the games you're going to win, simply because the deck is so consistent going first, even if your opponent has multiple hand traps, throwing at you. Max C is something different, but, we in a TCG don't have, access to Max C, right? Anyway, so this is my duel again, right, with the Talents. I like the Talents main deck. Even though if your opponent is not running any hand traps nowadays, they're probably still running Elf or Masquerina or something like that to use a monster effect during your turn. So again, that's fantastic. Establish the board. That's the thing with this deck. The deck plays, somewhat slow, super grindy, but it becomes really... easy to see when the game is pretty much over, but it's going to take a while, simply because either you don't have a battle phase or it's, going to turn into a super grindy game. So against heroes or, masked heroes from 2017, that wasn't too difficult, especially if you're going first. Yeah, going second might be something different, but again, golems are there, and then, the RUNICK sprites that pop stuff, negate stuff, so it's fine though. So go second against, Ravine Rulers, right, from 2013, that's post-Banlist. And let's be honest, here in this case, I feel that, Max C kept the Dragon Ruler deck, I guess, in the duel, plus Wing Blast as well. But like, I guess, nowadays, people are definitely main-decking something like, or stuff like Cyclone, so... Wing Blast or Cyclone, both are very, very similar. Then again, you'd rather, have Cyclone against the Runic Field spell other than Wing Blast, right? You can just search it out again. So, doing some standard Runic stuff, the pitching the Golem here in this situation is not going to help out that much. And again, I have multiple ways to, I guess, to deal with Scrap Dragon. That's the most important one to, not threaten my field spell. Plus the Ravine, right? Ravine, do I have something to pop Ravine? Oh, the Smashes is there. So I guess that could be something if Ravine is activated. So draw the Cap Shell. Cap Shell is again cool. Not sure if it's going to, make the cut post a Darkwing Blast, right? Simply because it's a dark. It might be a bit iffy. Yeah, might not make it, but we'll see. In real life, I'm playing RUNICK SPRIGHT also. I like the deck. But I don't know about, Darkwing Blast and how to, change the deck, especially with Sprint, the link to should you run Nimble, maybe totally awesome again, but whatever. So, Star Eater hits the field, plus Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader, I guess, against this deck is for, well, not too much. I guess it only hits Golem. Lava Golem, right? As you know, like when Crimson Blader destroys a monster by battle, that opponent or your opponent cannot, tribute summon, because it also hinders monarchs, or summon, tribute summon, or special summon level 6 or higher, I think, monsters. I think so. But yeah, here the game should be pretty much over, and this is why Wind Up Kitten is such a, it's a crazy card. It was kind of cheap before, a couple of weeks ago, but now it's skyrocketed because of this, and it only had one print, I guess. Ultra Rare and Ultimate Rare, so that's why it's super hard to get nowadays. But again, I'm in full control of the duel, having those multiple Runic spells in hand for potential disruption. Yeah, okay, this kind of makes sense, I guess, to go for Unicorn. discard to potentially, you know, get more runic names in the graveyard, get wing blasted. I mean, here in this situation, it's not going to matter too much. Well, I guess you could have used wing blast on the field spell, but I think it was known that I, you know, had another copy in hand, so in the long run it's not going to matter at all. Go for another Yugioh basically to get another level 2 on the field for, you know, Sprite, Elf, Link play, and potentially going for, well, Masquerena, but it's basically go for, because again, you need at least 2 extra deck monsters to go for Crusadia, Avramax, and Avramax kind of power creeps a lot of the old school decks. It's very hard for old school decks to get rid of Avramax, especially when it's protected by the Masquerena, right? Ooh, this is a tough matchup. So go second against, well, a tough matchup. Go second against True Draco Zoo. Again, a deck list from 2017, so that's right before Master Rule 4 hit the scene, so right before the, you know, the links, right? Link summoning. And my hand is kind of okay. Problem is that the deck is going to end on a couple of interruptions. A Trident is there protected by the Hammer Kong, you know, it can't be targeted. We see that Maxi is in hand, but let's, you know, disregard Maxi for now. I don't think we need to fear hand traps, or other than Maxi. I think our failures there. I can't remember, but we know the Masterpiece is there as well. So the Masterpiece will probably get tribute during my turn. So that's a couple of interruptions extra, but we can play around that. That's not really a problem. The biggest problem is Maxi, and we can't play around that. And the thing is that I was like, well, let's see what we get. I mean, not playing into Maxi is GG. You know, you're just going to scoop up next turn. So I was like, well, I think we have to go for it. No. So yeah, I mean, I still go into the battle phase, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter too much. My only out or option here is to deck out my opponent. And that kind of depends. If, you know, a couple of reasons. If, you know, I'm able to draw some runic cards, more runic cards, and Gigantic Sprite eventually into, you know, Hyperia, into Elf, and this is a problem because here I kind of lose my Elf as well. More protection, more special summoning as well during your opponent's turn. But here at this moment, I kind of needed like a runic draw as well to potentially, you know, mill or banish those face-up cards from my opponent's deck. But it's again iffy. So set starter, but I'm a couple of cards short. And here, in all honesty, I definitely should have, because I'm going to draw off of Hyperia, and immediately, you know, use the, I think it's Flashing Fire, to banish the top 2 and hopefully get, I think, what is it, 2 draws off of the runic field spell? I think so. Yeah, 2 draws. And, you know, hopefully to draw into more runic cards to potentially deck out my opponent, if that makes sense. But it wasn't the case, so it doesn't really matter too much. So it's the Maxi. Without Maxi, this definitely would have been a very nice duel. I mean, Masterpiece, it's not really a problem. Trident, not really a problem. The columns are still in the deck, so, I mean, those cards, you know, that's the reason why they are there against these kind of boss monsters. But this was just too much. So next one is against a 2021 deck, yeah, should be, which is Adventure, PK, Brave PK, you know, from the OCG. Luckily no Maxi this time, but again, I'm able to establish my board and pretty much end on, I think, probably the best opening hand that they can have. So Elf with red on field plus Djinn Buster, right? Okay, not going for Masquerena. It's, I'm thinking why I did not go for Masquerena. Is there a reason? I don't know, probably not. I mean, you're probably just safe, you know, go for Masquerena, go for Avramax here in this situation, plus, if, you know, Phoenix Enforcer is going to use its effect, I can still, you know, use red on the field. There's Smashers still, but the drop it kind of prevents the, the Phoenix Enforcer from being banished this turn. But I mean, I'm just going to negate its effect next turn, and with Kitten, I'm just going to bounce it away, or Lava Golem, well, no Lava Golem, no, or not, because again, the opponent is only controlling one monster, but in the long run, this is my duel. Plus, there is a monster, yeah, you can just, you know, flash the talents, right? This is a tough matchup against Adamant Zapater, but as you know, this is Adamant Zapater during COVID format, so the deck has access to, you know, the Buster Lock. But we see the Golem is there, so that's nice, really nice. So this is all fine. I mean, As you know, Adamantipator's was, especially with access to Helki and Linkross, one of those decks that you can throw hand traps at it, but it can still play. It can still play through multiple hand traps, right? So the deck is going to end on the Buster Lock eventually, and a couple of negations. I think Herald as well over the Masquerena play, but it's all fine because again the Golem is there, and priority number 1 for Golem is, you know, Buster Lock, get rid of the Buster Lock, and probably the Herald, which is eventually going to hit the field as well. Because again, let's face it, Appaloosa is not that big of a deal, especially with Smashers, Flashing Fire, I believe. You know, the Imperm, or I believe I do have, yeah, the Monster Destroyer as well to, you know, potentially hit the Appaloosa in a chain. So, again, like, this field doesn't feel too threatening, no? Like, okay, you're blocking or keeping your opponent from using the extra deck. I mean, okay, I'm honest, the Golem just facilitates a lot, so immediately get it on the field, use, yeah, the instant fusion effect, right, apologies. Which is indeed, well, Appaloosa trying to get, you know, activated, but we're going to destroy that and then, you know, use Runic Tip to get those free draws. I mean, the chances are almost, well, 100% figure of speech to draw any Sprite card, right? Or any normal, oh no, okay, normal summon because I already used Lava Golem, so triple starter or any Sprite card is going to do it. And I drew, was it blue? Okay, that's fine, you know, establish my board again. Having the Kitten for next turn, okay, that was a potential other play I could have done. Searching Kitten off of a gigantic Sprite and then, you know, bounce it back and potentially, no, I can't go for another Golem, yeah. But I mean, those were definitely options. But it's fine though, again, you're in full control of the duel. I believe Smashers is still there just in case. Carrier is going to get negated by the Imperm. And am I going to use the field spell already? I'm not sure, I don't think so. First of all, the Hyperia draw, potentially draw, okay, no, I'm going to use the field spell for, you know, an upstart or a +1 in the long run, right? Going to use Slumber on Golem, so Golem can't attack, and using the, whatchamacallit, the Smashers on Gigantic, Gigantus, not Gigantic, you know which one I mean. Against Chaos, immediately get blown away by all the banned cards. So the Lincoln Tour, discard 2 cards, Pot of Greed, draw 2. But I mean, this is fine, this is Runics, right? And Sprites, with only 1 card, you can easily get back that advantage. So use Yugioh again. I don't, you know, need to play around hand traps or disruptions, so I can freely search my field spell and keep that 1 runic name for later for, you know, that potentially nicely 3 draws. So Hyperia for already another draw a Sprite card. Always. It's fine though. So again, pop the set, which again, I think an Imperial Order definitely would have been activated first, or sooner, much sooner. But draw more Sprite cards, that's quite unfortunate, but go for Soul Sweeper to, you know, spin it away or get rid of the face down monster, which here in this case I believe was a Magician of Fate. Snatch Steal is cute, I'm not going to negate that, I can just go for Avramax, and as I mentioned before, Avramax kind of power creeps the entire, you know, a lot of old school decks, especially when it's protected by the Masquerena, no Geki, no Dark Hole, so it's cool. Draw Kitten, it's fine, it's not going to matter here in this situation. Mirage, I'm not going to, you know, negate the effect. I'm just going to use it here, you know, tribute Hyperia, and potentially, you know, this is my duel, right? The DD Warrior Lady is not, well, it does get rid, or would, you know, it's definitely an out, or would be an out for Avramax, if I'm not mistaken, but I mean, we can just bounce away the face down. And then, how am I going to out the DD Warrior? I probably can, yeah, I can just use one of the runic cards. I should be going for Cap Shell here for, you know, those extra draws, that's nice. Runic Tip for Flashing Fire, I think. Slumber for potentially another draw, I think. Or, you know, to get a second name probably, yeah, and this is for the 3 draws, yup, that's nice, that's delicious. Ah, so broken. So broken. It's ridiculous that the deck can do something like this, right? So, kind of an easy matchup, but I mean, okay, we're playing against an old school deck, super old school deck, being Chaos with all the banned cards, but a deck like this shouldn't, you know, have difficulties with that. Next one, you have Drytron, pretty much full force Drytron with access to Herald, and let's face it, the Golems are there, but if I don't have Golem, this is going to be a very tough matchup, and so hopefully my 6th card is going to be that Golem. Otherwise, we're going to be in a terrible position. Otherwise, I need to hope that Drytron doesn't have too many names, you know, too many fairies to discard for whatchamacallit, for the Herald, right? So eventually Beatrice hits the board for Eve, you know, the standard combos. I can potentially get a draw from Hyperia. I have Runic Tip to potentially surge the field spell. I have ways to, you know, get Yugioh on field. Carrot is not the best here in this situation. It can't negate droplets, but okay, yeah, you know what I mean. Here in this situation, it cannot going to matter. So talents, nope, that's not going to cut it. And I don't think there was a way to play around this or play this differently. And yeah, I'm just going to lose it because, or lose this one because Herald can, what is it, negate 4-5 times, and I can just, there's no way to play around this. Like a lava golem, and then we would have had another game, but it is what it is. So yeah, cool build, 2 losses, the game is over, but I mean, the thing is that play this game against a deck that, you know, if you're going second against a hand loop deck, then the deck will definitely struggle because you're not running any hand traps in the main deck. So okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any opinions, you know, potential decks, let me know. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Leave them signing out. Peace.